How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Factorio. So, in between episodes, I went ahead and set up our trail line. I did implement a stacker, and then I went ahead and added a second line just so that we could maintain pretty high throughput, because we're going to need about one blue belt um, per build? Or some of the lines use an entire blue belt. So like this one uses 50, this one uses a whole one just because there's no sense in splitting it. For the most part, they're all split though, so it's about 50-50. So now we have both the tungsten components we need. And so I believe we're just about ready to start making the science packs. In fact, we are actually ready to start making the science packs. Okay, so we need 28 foundries. We have 13 on us, so let's go ahead and get those put together. And then, so we're gonna head down here. Let's see, we need a ton of these to finish off that. And then we're gonna need, what do we need for foundries? We need that, which now we have automated. For the most part, we're going to start tearing this area up, as we no longer need some of its components. And then the components that we still need, we won't tear up, just so we can kind of keep a mental note of the things that we have to continue working on. And then I think our next planet, I think we're going to go to Flagora next. Over Gleba, I think it is, just because I have not heard good things about Gleba, and I would arguably compare it to the American Vietnam memes of the trees are speaking, biter, and bad things are gonna happen. So, with that in mind, I think we're gonna save Gleba for what I would say is last, but I know that's not the last planet, but I guess it's the last first set of planets, if that makes sense. Ooh, and then in other news, sorry if that was loud. In other news, I did see the creators of Bob's Mods has been updating it for 2.0. So I'm very interested and excited to see that, because that will likely mean that what we're going to have is Angel's Angel's ores and stuff get updated along with that, because they usually go pretty hand in hand, and then some other ones. And then usually Island Block comes after that. I've tried Island Block, I just have never really been able to get behind it. But we'll see. We'll see if we can manage that one. But I'm just excited to see that. I am curious though to see if Bob's Mods ends up being just made compatible with 2.0, or if it's actually going to be like updated to include new content relevant to 2.0, right? So like, are we going to have the base Bobs that we all know and love? Well, at least we all know. And then every planet like this going to have just new types of ores on it, in conjunction with the ones we already know, or is it just going to be kind of a more spread out sort of scenario? I don't know. I'm very curious to see how they end up doing it. So that is all 28 we need. Alright, so let's go put these down. Either way, I'm still excited. I think a little bit more excited though to see how does Angels handle it, right? Because they could go the super easy route of just spread out their ores here on the different planets, or they could go a different route. But we will have to wait and see, I think. But in the meantime, while we are here planning things out, where do we put our science and or eventually the rockets? Because we are going to have to build all the rockets stuff. Either build it here or get it shipped in from another planet. For now, we're going to have to build some automation of it here, and then we'll worry about more stuff later. This area is mostly free of lava. There's a few issues that might cause some pain. The other option, right, is we build further up like over here, this region, because these are all cliffs we can remove. And then this is just an ore patch that we can build on top of if we need to. Then we can clear out most of this to the left. So there is quite a lot of space here. I think what we'll do is we'll put the science here. And then rockets yonder. And then this calcite we'll probably have to ship off planet anyway. So that should be fine. I think we'll do that. Alright, so let's go ahead and just grab blueprint. I like that we can essentially use the robots to blow up the cliffs. I think it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. One more. Oh yeah. So we'll do something like this. So we need 28, and they're going to be making these science packs. And then I don't think it's going to particularly matter if they are like this or not. Yeah, we can probably get away with that. So then something like this. Oh, I do want to mention though, with how this is going to be set up, it's only going to be scalable to a point without having to just rework some things, because space-wise, like this whole factory is designed space-wise just for the 1,000 per minute with maybe a little bit of wiggle room for growth. However, if we do want to scale this, you can't see my air quotes, but scale this up to like 10,000 per minute or even 100,000 per minute, whatever we might eventually want to do with this base, as well as the save. We're gonna need a way to either build on lava or a way to just massively clear out a bunch of things. But we don't currently have that. I mean, we could handcraft it and we could really try to force it, but I think 1,000 per minute is a good starting goal. Like, I saw a post about how the game has changed in 2.0, and dramatically, I would say, oh, I guess we'll just use fast. And I would definitely say that having not more science, but rather just a more efficient science is kind of the new way forward. So even though like these machines have base productivity to them, which you don't get with assemblers. So like this is just going to natively give us more science. We're going to end up producing, I believe, maybe a little bit more than 1,000 per minute. Like maybe 1,050 per minute or something. But the guy I saw talk about it primarily looked at if in 1.0, 100 per minute was kind of your standard like baseline starter base amount, that 1,000 per minute is arguably the new 100 per minute, right? So like 1,000 per minute should be like your default starter base level, and then if you want to go bigger, around 25 to 50,000 per minute is where you start to see, okay, now you're starting to get a pretty big base. How can you make it more efficient? And then go from there, right? So I mean, I definitely think that depending on how you think about it, you can either have a highly efficient 1, 2, 3. You can have a highly efficient base that isn't really all that much bigger depending on how you construct it, because there's definitely ways to condense what a lot of people have built over the years, especially with these new machines that just allow for crazy productivity in them. Because like if this machine already natively has a productivity modifier of 50, then throw on some more productivity modules, and they can hold 5 modules. So then you have a really crazy time where it's like, okay, not only are you getting that base modifier 50, but now you can also get additional. And what's really crazy now is, since the introduction of the new sciences, there's now productivity bonuses for certain things. So like here with steel, infinite research for steel productivity. So you just are inherently going to get more and more and more and more productivity on it. So that to me is insane. So that alone also just increases the fact that, okay, well now you're getting more productivity out of it on top of a base machine that's inherent with the productivity. So it's like, okay, where do you end, right? So it kind of comes down to that. Something like that. Awesome. I really love this mechanic of being able to drag and drop power poles, because it guarantees that everything gets powered, although I don't like that it doesn't register those. Because it should. The reason there's two long-handed here is because two long-handed equals the speed of one fast due to the rotational distance. At least it did, to my knowledge. I don't know if it still does. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's half as fast, so then two of them would be twice total. I think so. I don't know, I could be wrong on that math, but pretty sure it's correct. Cool. Now we gotta power these ones. There we go. Everything's all powered up. Excellent. Cool. Alright, so now we need these to come down and around, huh? Okay. So I guess let's do... We only need half a belt? Wait, why are we producing so much then? Where's it all of it going? No, it does output that amount. Is it because it's a consumption thing? Yeah, it is. Okay, it is just a consumption thing. So these two belts actually could merge. So then let's do that. And then let's do 1, 2. So we'll put it onto this line. And then let's go ahead and grab... We don't have any more splitters. Let's go make some splitters then. Because in all honesty, I don't know if we have any more. Like, here. I don't think we do. We have more explosives though, which is good. And that just means more calcite. Okay. We are not making splitters. Ugh. Okay. Of course we're not making splitters. That would just be too easy. Yeah. Let's make yellows and then make reds. Do we really not have any... I guess I don't need this machine anymore. Okay. I need green. And we need red. But I don't think we have any red. Nope. So we don't have any copper cable. Well, we have some red. We have enough red for what we need. And we need gears, which we should have a ton up here. That is the nice thing on this planet, is you can usually make a lot of the resources you need pretty quickly. Such as bulk items, especially a lot of these like early crafting items that you might need. It's like iron gears, copper wire circuits. They're usually fairly easy to automate in like a bootstrapped production like this. Not saying it's hard in a main bus either. It's just it's usually not too terrible to get it started here. Because like this is definitely an example of kind of earlier I mentioned in one of the previous episodes that you can make every item on every planet more or less. It's just sometimes there's easier planets to do those sorts of recipes on, and then there's harder planets to do those sorts of recipes on. Cool. Okay, so we got that. Let's head up top. Now let's finish off. I think we need a few splitters on the train balancers, and then we'll use these splitters to get everything put together for the science, and then hopefully we can start getting rockets shipped. Likely though, we probably aren't going to be able to automate the science to novice just yet, because we're going to have to build a science tugboat to bring it from novice, or bring it from here to novice. And then what I'll do on the rocket line is I'll probably have a dedicated science ship that just goes back and forth between this planet and novice. And then I'll probably have a refueling ship / restocking ship that comes back and forth between this planet as well as all the other planets, just so that way it can like bring things that this planet needs that it either can't produce, like uranium, like if I set up reactors or something, that it can then do that, like those sorts of things, or like weird ammo if that was needed. Okay, and then how much of this is going towards science? Because I know we need not a whole belt. So total it produces 1.3, so then we need a 3 to 2 balancer is what we need. 3 to 2. Technically, one of these lanes is going right, one of these lanes is going left, so do that. That almost worked out perfectly. That would have been really crazy if it actually did work out perfectly, though. All the carbide. Alright, cool. So now we'll probably just I don't think we can underground. We can underground that, but we can't underground here because of the pipe. So that means, well, we can underground here. It's not the most pleasant, but it works. Like that. I will say, being able to drag and drop items like that is really, really handy, and I enjoy that, because I remember the dark times, and like I think it was 0.15 that did not have that functionality. That just was not even a remote possibility of functionality until the developers brought it into the world. Well, actually, I think it was a mod initially that eventually became part of the game, which is honestly the story for how a lot of things get put into Factorio. Is it was likely a mod that was added in by the community, which I think is something that a lot of games should strive to do more of, is if they see, there's a mod for XYZ. Everybody in the community uses it, or at least considers it mandatory to play. But unfortunately, because of configs, they can't use it if they want to do achievement hunting, but it might be a mod that doesn't necessarily impact the difficulty of the gameplay, it just makes quality of life nicer. So it could be something as simple as like restructuring the UI to make it look nicer, or a theme on the UI, or like a skin or something, right? Those sorts of little things, I think are completely fine and definitely should be integrated to allow achievements. But I do get the reason why, like, some of the other ones, like, um, Angel's Bobs don't, because that just completely reworks the game. Those are definitely overhaul mods. But, you know, there are a multitude of other things. This needs copper, right? Yeah. And that is iron. Where is the copper? This guy is copper. Except that is heavy light oil. So let's figure out where that connects, and then we'll go from there. I like how holding this shows you all the underground. That is fun. Okay. So where's an open lane that will let us work? This bottom one. It's right here. Yeah, and we'll actually just do that, so that way we can still cross. Sweet. Now, how much molten is this gonna use? I want to make sure it's not gonna be like the whole thing. It says it's gonna use 1.29. Or not 1.29, 1.9. So that's 2 entire lines of it, if I'm not mistaken. So how much molten? Total molten. Yeah, okay, so pretty much all of the molten copper that we're producing is going to go towards this. So then, what I want to do, based on that, is how much do one of these produce? Like, what the hell? How's the capacity on these? So we have 3, right? So we need to balance 3 into 2, fluid-wise. Because one pump has a flow rate of 72,000 per minute, so we need 2 pumps worth. But is pipe not instantaneous? So, like, could I not just do this, and would this not work? I think those are my robots. Okay. I'm pretty sure we could just do something that looks like this. I know it doesn't involve the pump, but I suppose if we have the pump at the other end, that would be limiting throughput? Right? I don't know. Somebody tell me down below if this is going to work. If it isn't going to work, we'll find out pretty quickly just from looking at the numbers that we're going to be seeing. Yeah. So we're actually going to remove the pump. I think with no pump... Oh, those guys don't have insters. I'm like, why aren't those working? Alright, so with no pump, it doesn't look like they're all working. So I'm going to go with that it's instantaneous without the pump. So no pump is good in this case. So we're just going to stick to that. But that does mean we now have science packs, which is awesome. So I think for now what we're going to do is we are just going to store them. The only way I know how. Because I don't think we can build... You know, maybe we can do cargo. But the cargo bay, I believe, affects this, so it doesn't end up actually being that good. Whereas these just are better space-wise. Yeah. Okay. So then... Storage. Okay. Cool. We'll do something like this, and then that way we can just produce a bunch of it, store a bunch of it, and then be good. Because, like, each one of these stacks is 200, and then there's 48 per chest. Call me a madman, but each chest is 9,600 times, what, 20 chests? This will be able to store 200,000 science in just this little spot, by the way. If my chicken scratch math was not incorrect, we will have 200,000 science. Cool. Well, I think that's where we're going to go ahead and call it for today. Oh, and it does look like the copper is not capable of supplying this. Why? That is a great question. It looks like because our stone ejection is not fast enough. Okay. Yeah, even at... Okay. So then what we need to do is we need to add some more waste lines for stone. Yeah, I know. A lot of people are going to be yelling at me. You're wasting stone. Stone is valuable in 2.0. And yeah, I agree. But for now, we can just burn it. We'll get rid of it. We'll worry about it later. Sort of thing. And then eventually we'll maybe turn it into purple science. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Hope you guys learned something. If you guys have, you guys can do, smash that like button. If you guys just enjoyed the video, also leave a like. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, tips, tricks, and anything else, leave those down below. And with that, I will see you guys all in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one, and peace out. See you guys later.